We are live.
Yeah, this looks pretty live.
Oh
Ooh,
my
now
God.
there's a space for live comments.
Okay. For those of you who are watching all of this, we wanted to replicate what it's like to be on set. So this is multiple takes. And look, we still have that energy. We are castable. Just saying. Okay. That's the only way I can make sense of what just happened. But yes, Tara, you're a trooper.
Yeah. Hey, thank you. That was a ride.
I don't actually. I can't even break down what happened, but we did it. That's all that matters. We move on. I had a hot chocolate. It is now just, I guess, chocolate. So cheers.
Well, regardless, thank you so much for having me.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
You know,
I was just gonna say I've seen you do monologues, and then I've talked to you on Clubhouse, but now it's like the face and the voice, and I get to actually meet.
It's so funny too, because I've seen you on the Monologue Slam, and then I saw. So guys, in case you don't know, Tara kind of won the drama, kind of a big deal, first place with, oh my gosh, what is your scene partner's name?
Andrea Cabeza.
Andrea. Ooh. Wait, if you haven't seen it, I will post the YouTube link. It was honestly, I was so, even the focus pull, I'm like, whoa, it was great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, it was, I think I had told you this before, but yeah, it was from a play that meant a lot to me, and it's one that we're working on producing for the Fringe this year. So it was sort of like a tester kind of thing for it. So I'm super glad it resonated with people. But yeah, that win was on the back of so many failures.
They're not failures, they're attempts. They're part of you growing. Okay, so
like us doing the live.
That's the thing, right? These are all attempts. I mean, I don't know what lessons I learned, but we kept attempting. We didn't give up. So I think that's the motivation. Just keep trying, and eventually technology won't hate you as much. So there you go.
There we go. Write it down.
Write it down. Life lessons with Robyn and Tara. That's how we roll. But it was so funny because the other day when you were in the Clubhouse room with me and Andre, and we were discussing the Monologue Slam and everything, and then I realized I had to make myself accountable, so I ended up resharing every single monologue I did, and I apparently had archived them. I don't know if that's a thing on Instagram. It was so odd because what I thought was terrible wasn't as bad in a good way. Like, okay. Yeah. It was still, I could see what needed improvement, but I was like, oh, wow, I'm really critical. Maybe I should tone down with that.
Totally. Don't you find that with like self-tapes and stuff too sometimes, where you'll be like, in the moment, you'll be like, oh, this is the one. And then you're like, ah, this was trash. And then when you're watching the back after, you're like, I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, it's so hard to know in the moment. It's
so funny too, because it's always, I started working with a coach, and it was in the sense, the ones that I don't like, I'm like, it looks like I'm not trying. And they go, yeah, that's called acting. Oh, well, apologies for my previous self-tape. But the harder you try, the more likely you are to book something. So that was
No, that's so universal. That's such a thing. It's like there's this juice that comes from like acting. Like, I'm gonna act the F out of this scene. And then when you just like relax into it, it doesn't feel as much sometimes, but then those are always ones that translate more. And I adore your work. I don't know, I've never seen you do the super acty thing, but in the ones that I've seen, you're just so lovely. You're so present. Yeah, I
needed the praise. That's the only reason I invited you. Actually, it's so weird because I don't know, I put stuff out there and I don't know what resonates, and the inner critic in yourself. And I don't know, you have such a presence on screen. And even when the focus wasn't on you, I'm like, what is she doing? Oh. It was just so, I mean, your scene partner was great too, Andrea, but I can't stop watching. And it's so funny that I don't know everyone that enters the Monologue Slam, but I know them from the Monologue Slam. Like, look, we are consistent. I know you. And you know when they share it, oh, actually you don't have Instagram, but sometimes they choose a random clip. It's just automatic. And there's usually that awkward moment in your monologue that you never want anyone to see, but they freeze frame that. So I'm usually like, and doing those awkward like faces. So that's kind of what I feel like I'm known for on the monologue. Oh, are you the girl that's always, yeah, that's the weirdest part of the monologue. That's what's captured. Yeah,
I love that. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you feel that too, because I feel like there's so many times where I'm like, oh my God, that's my friend. And I realize I've never actually met them. So I shouldn't be able to just call them my friend. But because I'm seeing their work or I've shown work or whatever, so I feel like there's a connection. But I'm glad you feel that too.
There's something, and I reached out to a couple people that I just invited on. I'm like, no, I've seen you. I know, I feel like I know someone through their monologues. And that's the whole point of a monologue, because you're bringing yourself to it. So yeah, I guess that's kind of cool. That's how it is. I'm having a weird eyeline thought right now, because the actor in me is like, is this my eyeline, the little dot? Or should I be looking at you? Because technically we're going to end up side by side to the audience. So this is, where's my frame, you know? And I'm like, should we not make eye contact? But that's weird. I want to look at you. So I think I'm going to accept the weird eyeline, because I'd like to think it's a conversation. This is a self-tape, not a bookable moment right now, but
yeah. No, I like that. I will be way too self-conscious if I'm looking at myself. So I'm more than happy to look at your bright, beautiful face.
Oh, well, it's the blue background. Okay, I'm gonna be very honest. I try and match my outfit sometimes to my guests, and I think you're very cool. So I tried to find the coolest shirt I owned, and this is the gist of that. I just think you have such a cool look. So I'm like, yeah, I gotta try and match it with my clothes. I don't really own clothes, but yeah.
That is the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me. I love that. Oh my God.
I try. But I don't know. I remember when we were you came into that headshot room, right, to get your headshot review. And someone goes, oh, your hair, is that actually your hair? I'm like, yeah, I have a little buzz, and that's so cool. I don't know, I have long hair. It's a ponytail or it's down. I add a little curl tonight to be fancy, but yeah, that's my hair.
Yeah, no, that was, for me, it was a pandemic shift where like just partway through the pandemic, I was like, enough, and just shaved it all off. So
I can picture you waking up. It's time. Oh no, what have I done?
Yeah, it wasn't far off from that.
You just wake up. No, I can't. I'm actually worried. That's why I hide the scissors. I wait. It's too long. No. Oh God, I don't have money for headshots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My friends will attest to this. I'm threatening to shave everyone, like especially all my girlfriends, because I'm like, it's just real. I heard it as I said it, but it's honestly like so empowering or something. I don't know. It's just so nice to have that change. So I keep telling, like I told Andrea, and I'm telling everyone, I'm like, I'm gonna shave you. So,
that's terrifying.
I know. You should be happy you're behind the screen right now.
It's just the worst nightmare, guys. Tara is gonna find you, and she's gonna
shave you.
Don't even specify where. Just like holding a shaver and then just menacing into the camera. The little chain. What's that?
Yeah. Very much that.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Well, I know what you're doing this weekend, so I have different plans, but to each their own. But the thing is, you'll have a mask on, so we won't actually know it's you. Although, put a hat on too, because then we won't see the signature side.
Yeah.
Oh, why am I giving you ideas? You're gonna shave people's heads now. This is terrible. I don't know whoever invented the finger trill, but I'm very much for it.
I hope it was Mr. Burns. I'm gonna say it was Mr. Burns, but
I know, but where did you know what? Actually, who am I saying? Simpsons have been around forever. They definitely invented it. There's no way there was anything pre-Simpsons. I was watching it today because why not? It's on all the time. I need a comedy. What can I watch? Oh, good. Simpsons is on all the time. And it's just so good. I don't know why.
It is. They know too much.
They predict a lot. It's very impressive. And scary because how much should I believe what The Simpsons is saying? Like what? I don't know. Everyone's going to study it now. There's going to be classes at university. The Simpsons. How do they know? Yeah. It's like predicting the future with The Simpsons. Matt's going to be the teacher. Is it Groening?
Yeah.
How do you pronounce that last name?
Ronan.
Matt G. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you have an easy pronounceable last name, so that's always good.
Yeah. The pronunciation is no problem. Spelling is, but that's okay. And my first name, people ask, if it's Tara or Tara a lot. And I'm not one of those people who really cares. I'm kind of like, whatever works, man.
Go like T.
Yeah. Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, it adds. See, now that you have that, this is your alter ego.
Your branding.
With the shave. Your T, you have the hair like that.
This is amazing. I feel like I'm getting a branding session.
This is what I do. I have no idea how to brand, but I give people advice and they never take it. It's very effective.
And we go on and on.
You know what? The branding were you the one that asked this discussion or asked that question the other day? I thought that was a good question.
Yeah, it was, I think I was asking it, and then there was someone else, I forget his name, but it was another actor, and I don't know him, but he was also asking that in the clubhouse, and it's so hard to see yourself. You know how we were saying, like, when you're watching your auditions, and it sometimes is from, like, months later that you're like, oh, that was actually good, or, like, you see what you like about things. And I feel like your brand is very much the same, where if I'm just looking at Tara, you're like, oh, I think she's cool because she, or whatever. And I'm like, that's awesome. Because you see when you like do a bunch of your dumb stuff all the time. So you don't really know what people are getting or what people see. And it's really hard to know what your brand is. But I loved what Andre was saying on that call too about that, like, you're going to bring that into every room no matter what and get really good at what you're good at. Because I think, I don't know about yourself, but when you're starting out acting, I was definitely like, I want to be the Joker and the girl next door. Like, I want to be it all. And it's like, okay, let's hold your horses. Let's do one thing well, and then maybe we'll see.
It's hard though, because I find there's so many things that are more accessible now. There's so many opportunities to take more classes, and not just in Canada, right? You can take a class from afar, from yonder, in the or even the UK, if it pleases you. Yes, hello there. But they're right there, and you can anyone like do some voice stuff too. Although the one thing I think is limiting is maybe stunt training.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because that's kind of cool.
Yeah. But have you done any stunt work ever?
I do have a gun license. I don't like to brag, but I use my government ID all the time. Because I used my headshot for it. So, yeah, I totally did. Like, the one government ID that looks good.
She owns a gun.
I don't own a gun. I don't plan on owning a gun. But this government issued ID, this is my glamour shot. There you go. It's worth the headshot.
Yeah, no, that's something I want to look into as well, because there's so many things that come up in auditions and stuff that are like such specific, like, do you have this, or, and sometimes I'm the type of person that I'm like, okay, give me 20 minutes and I'll learn it. Like, I want to be like, you know what I mean? But sometimes that really can't happen. And I was talking to my friend about her audition the other day, and she was singing this song, and she was just like, damn, I should have had this in my repertoire. And so, like, even having weird things like a gun license or a few songs that you can kind of just like riff off no matter what, having that in our repertoire is so key. And I forget that until it's too late. And then I scramble. But yeah.
It's so fun. I love that you compared, first off, getting a gun license to having songs in your repertoire. Like, okay. But I mean, some people are singers, and
yeah,
anyone can get the gun license. I feel like singing requires more training. Oh, that sounded, no, it was hard. There was a written and a practical test. There was stuff to that. There was safety, and then you tried it out. Yeah, it's all hard. Just keep learning. Whatever. Okay.
Yeah, and like whatever, I mean, it also goes with the brand, right? Of whatever is your thing, whatever, like whatever you can do, whatever, if you have a singing voice or if you want to get better at singing and having that kind of like on deck, or if you do characters that, you would love to be in a stunt thing where your character is using a gun or doing stunts or something, to kind of prep for that is, yeah, super important. And being specific, because we like to be broad,
Classic
but
specificity. Just going to
yeah.
quote Andre right there.
Yeah.
Great word. Yeah. Specificity.
Specificity. There you go.
I don't know. Sometimes when I'm taking these, I feel like I'm a kid in a candy store these days, because I'm like, oh, when you're younger and your parents, maybe it's not the case with you, but your parents kind of enroll you in everything and see what you're good at. And that's what I feel like now with acting. Like, I'm just going to take everything and see what resonates. I'm like, oh, so much is resonating with me. I want to do it all. So that being said, I think I'm more aware that comedy I enjoy more than the drama. But I do, when I was watching some of my past monologues, I'm like, oh yeah, I wrote a bunch. But also, I'm like, I want to be that crazy stalker girl. And I didn't realize it until I'm like, wow, I'm writing so many weird stalker monologues. And I don't know where it came from. But I'm like,
Love that.
I have to, I don't know, maybe I saw something on TV. I can't think of the character that resonated with me. And I've yet to, you know what? I'm just throwing it out there. Canadian film, television, we need some crazy stalker chicks.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking. But like friendly, it needs to be your friendly neighborhood crazy stalker. She's lovable.
Get
but
more
also,
specific than that. Yeah.
How much? I don't think it'd be any more specific. It's terrifying, but you oddly like her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your part to lose, man. I mean that as a compliment. Again, heard how that was coming out.
Totally fine. Totally fine. I mean, I do it like I'm very open. As I'm on Clubhouse or whatever. I'm just creeping you right now. Okay, cool. And this is. I like to call it research. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I want to watch that character, but yeah, in general, I think, and I don't know, I know what you're saying about comedy, which is something I wish I could like get more into, but I'm always like, oh God, what's funny? At least with drama, I'm like, it seems like there's more of a range. But with comedy, I'm like, if people aren't laughing, then, I mean, obviously it's different in a monologue because you're not right there, but I definitely get into my head with that. But some of the best like actors I know are comedic actors, and like even like Robin Williams or the greats who are able to kind of like, because I feel like if you're funny, you're pretty good at like telling the truth or knowing the truth because it's the truth that's funny.
And then hiding the truth sometimes though.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying that I was talking to someone earlier today, and this day of all days. And I use comedy so much as a crutch because I'm like, oh, reality, let's make a joke. Reality is too real. So I think comedy can be used in so many different ways. And yeah, I don't know. I find it so interesting that you get into your head with comedy. And again, I said this before, when someone says cry in a script, I go, no, not for me. This isn't my role. This isn't my role. I will give you. Or if I end up figuring out how to cry because obviously I want to do my best audition, then that whole day I'm just a ball of tears. Aww. And it's, oh God, I open the floodgates. Not okay. Ugh.
Yeah.
So as a dramatic actor, how do you kind of tap in and then leave that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I think there's some things that definitely kind of hit harder and stay with me harder, but I use music a lot of the time as a tool to get me in. And then honestly, like as much as music can like get me into a sad place or whatever, or just whatever the character's kind of going on, whatever's going on with the character in their head, music also can kind of get me out of it. And also just really like whenever I'm focusing on myself too much, then I find it's harder to get out of it because then I'm very much like keep it in. But if I try and pull my emotion or whatever is going on from the other person, then I also find it's easier to let go because then you're like, oh, it was just about them anyway. So now that it's done and they're good, then I'm good. if that makes sense.
Yeah, it sounds like I really want to work it as a scene partner with you. You're just giving so much. I'd be, whoa.
Well, ditto. I mean, but yeah, it's an interesting concept because I think, you know, there's a line where it's not affecting us enough, but then there's also a line where it's like, okay, it's a job. We're gonna have to kind of, you know, go to set, go to whatever, do our thing, do our work, and then figure out how to drop it. And I mean, I'd love to be at the place that's just like, you know, you have it on a string. Definitely not there yet. But yeah, I find making it about the other person at least helps me a bit because then I'm not so much in my own world.
It's so interesting too when you make it about the other person, but sometimes again, there's those situations where you go, whoa, this seems it's so relatable, it's not okay.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
you go, oh, okay, is this actually me and not the character? And then you get kind of lost in that and go, oh, I don't know how to pull back, so I'm just gonna kind of take a couple days and gonna figure what happened there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and it's weird because you're like, it's crazy how universal good writing can be. Because, like, with good writing, you're like, do they have cameras on me? Like, what is going on here? But then the fact that so many people can feel that is so beautiful. Because, like, ugh, writers, I just give it up to you guys. Because, like, it's so hard and such an incredible thing to take on. Because as actors, we definitely know what it's like to work with script that maybe isn't as fleshed out, and then script where every time you go back to it, there's like something you're getting. Um, yeah, so just good writing. It's just,
It's there was a piece I read, I want to say a couple weeks ago, and even the punctuation was there for a reason.
mm,
Whoa.
love
I don't
that.
remember who wrote it, but I thought, oh my God, I was just so grateful for that.
Yeah,
Because normally it's okay, here's a whole blurb and figure it out, and that's fine. But with the punctuation, that just gave me so much information. I felt very artsy in that moment. Oh, wait, that was a comma, a hyphen?
yeah, I love that, and I feel like with that as well, with good writing, you don't have to do much. You know, as the actor, I always found that like with really good and I'm guiding some actors in a play right now. Like it's my first time directing, so very much trying to be like, you know, taking the actor perspective with it. But I'm trying to like, I'm really seeing that you really don't have to do much for it to translate. If with really good writing, you know what I mean? Because it will be true if you can tap into it and if you can find it and if we can talk to each other, it will be true without doing much. But it goes back to the conversation we were saying at the start where that can be really hard as actors because we're like, I'm not doing anything. And I think maybe there's the vulnerability that we're scared of there or something, you know, that we're just like, that's good, but I don't feel like I controlled that. Exactly.
It was natural. No, I didn't try hard enough. No, no, no.
Yeah.
You're okay. Yeah, you're on the right track there. It's
Yeah, exactly.
so how do you find directing?
Um,
It was a very
it's
open-ended question, and I ask it because my husband's very honest with me when I try and direct him when he was the only one I could use for project, and he goes, "Robyn, directing isn't your strong suit," and I respect that because I in my head I have a vision, but
Mhm.
explaining it to others is quite the struggle.
Oh, for sure. No, it is a struggle, and I'm very blessed with when I cast it, I kind of told everyone that like you already are the characters to me because I don't trust myself enough to pull it out of you. Like I don't know, you know what I mean? I'm not there yet in my craft. I've really been enjoying directing so far. A lot of it is based on the people that you're working with, being open and collaborative, and also respecting that, giving you room to mess up as a director, giving you room to be like, let's try this. I take it with an actor's point of view. So my focus is just getting everyone to connect and talk to each other and trying to build those layers with, you know, with their characters and with that relationship and really exploring a lot of stuff. And it's a different format, right? Because we're doing rehearsals on Zoom and then we're looking to do a filmed version of it in June. And so we're going to be in person at some point, but trying to do it on this new platform, on this new medium as well. I was really nervous about that because I'm like, how do you build intimacy? How do you build chemistry? How do you do all these things? But actors are really friggin' versatile and adaptable. And so, and it's something too that the more I'm seeing, like when I'm working with my actors as a director, I'm giving them homework that I've never given myself as an actor. And I'm like, I should probably give that to myself. But when you're in service of something, it makes you so much more like nuanced to details, I find. And yeah, so I find like I'm seeing things from their point of view more so, but I'm still bringing on like guest directors and stuff to come help me out for like what you're talking about of translating that vision, because I'm like, that looks good to me here, but you might not understand it, but that's also okay because there's a learning curve, right? And maybe it's big, and it's probably going to be big for me, but that's okay. But yeah, so I don't know if that answered your question.
No, 100% it did. But I love you just, okay, yeah, I'm going to direct, and this is your first one. And then
yeah,
you learn this and you have a team, you're confident with your team. And I love a director that's been an actor, or at least they understand what you're going through, right?
Yeah.
And I know when I've had a director I'd want to work with again, and maybe not so much next time, right? It's just how they approach it and the respect for the actors and what they're doing. So I think you're already off to a great start. I'm excited to see it.
Thank you. Yeah, me too. But yeah, it's just so much about allowing yourself to fail. And that's such a hard thing. We were talking about the monologue slam at the beginning as well. And I've done so many over the years because I've known about the slam from like long time ago. So I used to go to the in-person ones, and for so long I would just bomb on stage. Like I remember just like one nightmares about going on stage, and I forgot all my lines and I forgot everything, and I had a broom up there as my prop and I forgot why I had brought it up. So
my God.
Literally a person standing with a broom, and they were like it was so bad. So I've had so many of those experiences that, I think
just picturing you standing there. It's performance art. You don't get it? That's your problem.
Like, is she cleaning up? Is the night done? Does she know where she is? Miss, do you need me to call someone? Like, it was just so bad. And, but what I tried to learn from that, my ego was bruised for a long time, and it took me a long time to get up again, right? And then I did, and it wasn't great, and it wasn't broom girl, so I fell somewhere in the middle. And then, I
have to ask about the broom. What was the monologue from? What is this?
Okay, it didn't even fit the monologue. It was a Halloween-based slam. So one of the things was like, oh, have fun with it. And then I was like, I'm gonna do a witch, but I didn't commit. So all I had was the broom. So I was just a girl with a broom, not a witch, not anything. And yeah, it was also a lesson in committing.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so it took me a long time to look at a broom. No, it took me a long time to.
So I never clean after that. I've never cleaned. I've never picked up a broom.
Yeah. But yeah, it took me a long time to get back on stage after that. And then I did, and I got more and more comfortable failing, more and more comfortable. Also, like, learning, because the first few times it was so about myself. And so about like, oh my God. And I still try and combat that. But after going up a few times, I really finally like started listening to the judges. And I was like, okay, you're giving notes. Sometimes you're giving the same notes to everyone who goes up. So if I can at least do that note, then maybe, that can get me somewhere. And I feel like that was where things started to shift a little bit for me. But Still lots of failures to come. So looking forward to that.
I don't like the word failure because
Sorry, lots of, what's it?
I don't know, attempting to
Attempts. Lots of
succeed, and then be awesome. And I say that, but I always say I epically fail because it makes me laugh. If you're going to fail, you should epically fail.
Yeah.
That's the only way, just with a bang.
Commit.
So I love that you were able to do the monologue slam multiple times because in person, I don't even know, I'll say it in a public forum. It's fine. Maybe no one's going to listen. But I applied for so many years. And then, I don't know, I just kept applying, and I guess I didn't really have good headshots, and then I got headshots, and then maybe they still weren't good enough, and then I got better headshots, and then they accepted me. I'm like, oh my God. And it was so out of the blue, too, because I kept applying. I'm like, what? Wait, I don't know. I guess I'll use my go-to model. I don't know what to do with my hands. And then you go, and I was so grateful, because I was saying before, it was the last in-person monologue slam. I thought,
yeah.
Because the magic that is that energy, and also it is terrifying because first off, you don't know when you're going, so you're just there in this performer area, which is really just one part of the side stage, and you're sitting there waiting. I'm assuming they were all at Bad Dog, but I could be mistaken.
I think, and so when I say I've done them a few times, this is also over like 8 years. So this has been.
I've been applying for 5-6 years. I finally got it. Whatever. Okay.
I mean, I feel like we need to crash it and just.
But that's what I learned. I didn't know that. I thought I could have come and been a wild card. You never know.
Man.
Put my name in 500 times. You don't know. I like to cheat.
Hey, you do what you got to do.
I would feel so guilty. I'd be like, oh no, that was so dishonest. And then the whole monologue would be like, I don't deserve to be here, guys. I cheated. I'm going to admit I need a broom.
No, not the broom.
I heard the broom was really successful when Sarah used it, so I'm gonna get the broom. And
but yeah, that's what's so amazing about it going online as well, right? Is like now it's international. So many people are doing it, and so wicked. Yeah. Love that.
It's all that stuff too, and it's that, but also look, I'm not going to say I'm cheap, but I'm trying to be careful with my money, and they do it for free, and I'm like, whoa, thank you very much. This is putting this together. I'm going to keep creating. I say that I've missed the last two, whatever. But in general, I'm going to keep creating because why not? Not do it this time. I keep talking about not doing it. Now I have to do it.
You do. I'm going to be on you, or you're getting shaved.
Oh, yeah, well, I'll see you shave it with a broom. You're going to do the most dramatic piece, and I'm just going to be like, ha, 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 here's some comedy.
We need that, though. We need that. I've had, like, a couple friends message me, and my aunt was like, she was like, called my mom. She's like, Tara's too sad. She was like, she does too much drama stuff. Like, smile. I was like, sorry. My mom's like, oh, you know.
But I feel as though because you get that all out in your art, then you just happy-go-lucky throughohout the day.
Hopefully.
And if I'm doing comedy, then I'm just this morose person sitting on the couch. What's the point of life? I'm
literally the sad clown. That's what I'm seeing.
I'm done.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a lot to give. So but we need that. It's such a gift to give comedy in the world, and such a gift to give comedy to people. And like, I'm going into praising you again, but like, even the way that you are in your monologues or on Clubhouse or in this chat, like, I was so nervous, and you're just so lovely and so bright. So it is such a gift to give to people as well.
I'd like to thank Amazon for the brightness and the lights and the screen.
Thank you, Jeff.
Taking compliments are challenging for anyone, but thank you, Tara. I do appreciate you saying that. I really do.
I mean it.
But I appreciate you being willing to do this. I think we planned this less than a week, and okay, I'll do it. Cool. Awesome. Any drama I should be aware? No, let's just try it. See what happens.
Yeah.
I will work with you every time. Thank you very much. This was great. Got the fire, got the picture. We're good. Let's do it. Work with me through the epic "What is this Facebook Live?" Yeah.
Who knows?
But this is learning. This was my director's moment. Well, I mean, I did another one before, but I guess it was a couple months ago, and I couldn't. The muscle memory wasn't there. That's a real thing. This is every time I tap into that random physio knowledge that I never use. But yes, it is a thing.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. It's easy to forget that too. Like whenever I come at something and I'm like, why is this not working? You haven't practiced it in a long time. It's like, right.
It's so odd because things like riding a bike, okay, fine, yes. But there's certain things that, oh my God. And that's the hardest thing about being an actor. It's not like, okay, yeah, okay, cool. I got that audition. Awesome. Oh, I booked this. Cool. Let's do it. It's no, you have to always be ready. And it's a terrifying concept, but also kind of a fun challenge, right? Like, okay, cool. All this training will eventually come in handy. But then again, me being a little bit of an overachiever, I'm like, do I have enough training? Should I get 2 gun licenses? Does the second one matter? How many? I'm learning random languages because you never know. But also,
love that.
I love. Do you learn language? Because I love languages. I've learned. I'm obsessed.
I want to. I
know. I just felt I needed best.
It did. Yeah. No. I learned like a little bit of Russian. And I'd love to learn more. I'd love to learn more Russian and just more languages. And I'm always like so impressed when someone speaks 2 languages because I'm like, just wow, that's amazing. Like that you can just do that because I feel so ignorant the fact that I only know 1, you know, because I'm like, it's a whole way of thinking as well because you literally think of different words like they mean different things, right? And it's why like when you do those Google Translates, it's always horrible because it's not just the words, it's like a whole way of thinking. And yeah, so that's amazing that you like to learn. What languages do you like?
Well, okay, so I'm learning Romanian because my mother-in-law is from Romania. So why not? So my husband and I are both learning it so then we can talk to each other versus me just randomly learning it and it's fascinating how they break down the language and where they put the adjectives and everything like that. And I don't know, I'm learning it. And at first I thought, oh my God, nothing is staying in my head. And then I got that whole, oh, this is your 125th day of learning. Duolingo, it's free. But I know, I love freebies.
Yes.
Kind of a thing. But it's so weird, the things that you don't realize you're picking up on. And then you start throwing in the random words. I'm like, oh my God, I'm retaining something. Whew.
Yeah.
But that being said, I also like my husband and I kind of speak broken Hebrew. And I say that when I think I'm going to blame him. I know he's watching. But Mike, I'm just saying I could be better if you were better because I know more. I love you though. But it's so, but I love, the reason I love learning multiple languages, and even, I don't know if you had to learn French in school, but whatever French you have from, you know, those random words like, merci, ça va bien.
Yeah.
Who cares? The bathroom. Sure.
Bibliothèque.
There was always a sentence, I can't even remember that random sentence I would always say. Well, that was effective. It was a great story. But it's when you compare what a word is and it's the same word in, let's say, English. And
oh yeah.
Or, Romanian. But this is what it means in English. What's happening? I want to keep learning. I want to find out what every word means. And I go, well, I mean, maybe we'll have time. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think that's amazing. It's hard too. So like you have to stick with it. And that's always a good thing because I'm very able to quit things.
Are you Russian though? Did you just feel like learning Russian?
Nope, kind of just felt like it. And it was something that I had a few people in the industry kind of tell me that I came across very Russian.
Because you have, again, you're cool. And I think Russians are cool. They have this cool vibe. And there's sometimes dramatic in the films. I'm like, yes, Tara could play a Russian. I see it.
Yeah, and it's something, and I love Russian culture a lot. There's a lot that I kind of like dabbled and tried to learn more about Russian culture and the women in Russia and stuff. And there's some like badass Russian women who just are like getting it done, like just really, really empowering and cool. So yeah, it was something for me as well that I'm just like, and it just sounds really cool.
It sounds like such a powerful language.
Yeah.
And I can see you playing a Russian superhero. Or maybe oh no, you have to be the bad girl. You just have to be again like the headshot, the leather jacket, like
yeah.
You have to have that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the cool nod. I would make it awkward. Like that's my superhero.
We need her as well. We need we need that superhero as well.
We need the weird sidekick that just falls.
Yeah.
That's why I want to learn the falling gracefully, because I'll fall. It's just gonna hurt. So.
That's amazing. I love Lizzie McGuire, so there's like that Lizzie McGuire-ness that I'm here for.
What would your superhero villain name be?
Oh, I feel like it definitely would be some sort of like like some veveve, you know, something in there. Probably lots of consonants maybe, so it's very sharp. And it starts with a V, maybe like a Bilixakla.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's another Russian word that starts with V? I'm putting you on the spot.
V? Oh God, I don't know. This is so basic, but the way to say hello is Zdravstvuyte, and I think it sounds beautiful, so I drop that in whenever I can.
Sounded really cool.
One of the 10 words I know. Yeah.
Own all 10. I would throw it in randomly. Yeah. I know you didn't ask for this in my slate, but Zdravstvuyte. I butchered that. I apologize, but that was not right.
I like it. I'm here for it.
I remember. What is the weirdest slate you've ever done?
Ooh.
And for those that don't know, a slate is when you say your name and you go, "Hi, I'm Robyn Deverett." No, you don't always show the hands. You don't always show the hands, but I had to.
Yeah. Good question. I feel like there's definitely been slates where I actually brought this up in a Clubhouse casting room, but there's definitely been slates where like I didn't have much, for whatever reason, I didn't have much room around me. So I was like doing all things. So I was trying to like tilt my phone up, go back and like get all of it. And it looked how it felt. It wasn't one of those things that was like movie magic. No, it just looked a mess. But yeah, I don't have any crazy slate stories. Some of my friends, I know they go wild with their slates, and I have no idea if casting directors like this or not, but my friend was auditioning for a show, and in her slate, she jumped from the frame onto an air mattress and then was rolling. And that was pretty special. So
I've heard of people doing more, and I thought, I don't know, is it appreciated because they're saying this is all they want? But the again, it's like overachiever. Should I do more? I can do more. Will you not cast me? There was one. I'm like, oh, should I slate as a news reporter? Maybe. I don't know. That was so tempting. And then I literally woke up because I had finished the tape, but I woke up at like 6 in the morning. I'm like, oh, should I redo my slate? I didn't. But it kept me, I'm like, would they appreciate that? And then I thought, you know what? Maybe I would in the future because it would make me laugh. And even I just hope it makes someone smile when I do something ridiculous like that. Like, this is Robyn reporting from here. Back to you in the casting studio. That is what I really wanted to do.
I love it.
Thank you. I will do that next time. Should a reporter roll her eyes? Yeah. I'll be like, this is because Tara Paterson told me to do it.
Blame her.
And also, I won't hold an actual microphone to make it extra weird.
Yeah.
You know, she's talking into her fish. She's gone a little nuts because of COVID. Yeah.
The like one ponytail.
Like they'll have a blazer and then like the one shirt's halfway out, the other one's tucked in. Just like a drunk newscaster. You know when people say make a bold choice, have you ever challenge, have you ever just done it? And this is, I know you're saying this is the breakdown, but what if?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I definitely had where I tried to make a character, again, kind of going back, Russian. And so I gave her a Russian accent, and I had a wig as well. And there was like a part in the scene where I like took the wig off, and she had this Russian accent. And then there was like, I think my sweater nearby or something. So I started pretending that my sweater was a cat. Like it was all over the place. And I can't say it was like, I think that was more panic Tara being like, what's big? And trying to like, go all over the map versus being like, okay, big can be truthful, big can be,
Say that I 100% need to see this if you saved it. Because
it might be around, unfortunately.
yeah, there's some I saved just because I go, oh, Robyn, you're adorable. That was just a choice that
Yeah. Well, what about you? I want to hear one of your.
Oh God, I have. Okay, I will share the story because I've shared it on Clubhouse quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this one audition I got, and when you get the 1 line, 2 line, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and you go, oh, okay, I see the breakdown, I see the 1 line, 2 line, but I'm an actor. And I have such a range that I will take these lines and we are going to go through a range of emotions as the viewers. So I did 9 takes. I sent them 9 takes of different ways I could do it 100%. I have owned it. It was on television, so I can share. I think it was for a commercial or something. I've owned it.
I love it.
The feedback I got from people on Clubhouse was the most supportive thing. Like, you owned it. You gave them options. I'm like, guys, you shouldn't be supporting this. This was legitimate. This was insane. They would, and I remember this one. Oh, there was a third person who goes, yeah, I'm going to be honest. I stopped watching after 6, but I respect that you tried, I guess. So, when they say multiple takes, they don't mean 9. That's a fun fact. I'm like, guys, check me out. Oh, audition. It's been a while. Here we go.
I love that.
Now I'm really excited. No, I don't know. No, I'm kind of dorky.
That's amazing. I mean, sometimes it can be a struggle to find 2 different takes. So the fact that you found 9 is amazing. Whether or not we'll send all 9 next time, well, we'll see. But the fact that you had 9.
Well, this is, again, as I continue to learn, a lot of people, and you're probably in the group, they say, yeah, I feel, I do maybe 3 takes, 5 if I'm really off that day. And I'm like, oh, my friends, let me tell you a story. Not only will I film it right when I get it, just to see what it looks like on tape, but then I will take the next day, and then I will work with a coach, and then I'll refilm it. That was old Robyn. We moved on from there. It was very terrible and unhealthy because, oh, look, by take 30, it's not natural. Shocker. So when I work with a new coach now, and it was, oh my God, I only did this in 3 takes. Is this what everyone's doing? Is this why they have more time in their day? This makes so much more sense. Is this why when they get multiple auditions, they can hammer them out in a night? Okay, now I understand.
Well, no, that's a real thing, man. I definitely, especially with self-tapes, right? Because with the auditions in the room, you only get 1 chance. So whether you love it or hate it, you're going in there. I mean, maybe you'll do a redirect or whatever. But self-tapes, you're like, it can be terrifying because you're like, well, if I don't do so much stuff, is that me not giving my best foot forward? But, so I definitely did that. Especially when I started getting more self-tapes, I was like going into so much take after take, and they're all it's not even like they're changing. And that's the worst.
I know.
When you're doing the same thing over and over again, that can be the worst. But then, so I do have that cap for myself now of like, okay, do it a few times, get the coaching, just, because you're at the end of the day too, when you're the person on set, you're going to need to pull from what you have. So even if we do 500 takes and we get somewhere, if I get a call back or if I get the job and then go to set and they're like, I thought you could do that. And it's like, well, that was after 500 takes. And not to say, continually work on it, but it is something that you like we were saying, if you're always grinding, always working, then you got to just trust that like where you are today is exactly where you need to be. You can't be anywhere else, and hopefully you put a lot of work in, but you're gonna have to just kind of lay it all out on the floor, and then move on. And it can be hard, but that's what I'm trying to get better at.
Well, for sure, but it's also kind of a check-in too. It's okay, what am I doing wrong in my prep that I have to do all these takes?
Yeah.
And I think the problem too, when we transition and now it's really only self-tape, we never really had the opportunity to see what we look like doing some of these auditions, right?
Mm-hmm.
All these auditions. So now when again, I'm going to be the most critical of myself.
Yeah.
Right. I'm never. So it's so interesting. Now I refuse. Now I'm like, okay, someone else thinks it's good. Cool. The coach I'm working with it. Awesome. I'm just going to send it. I have thoughts. I think it could be better, but you think it's okay. I'm going to send it. Because otherwise it's, and that's being who you are. And it's also, you got to get it in the first couple of takes because that's all it's going to be on set. Right. And that's the thing too. And if you do it in a couple takes, hopefully the first or second, maybe the third time's the charm, eighth with Facebook Live. But when you do it, it gives you that confidence. If you were to get that call back or book it and be like, yeah, I can do this. I did this. Now I can do the call back. And cool, if it resonates with you and you book me, I'm ready for set. And it's kind of looking at the audition as if you booked it. And that mindset is so helpful. Again, I still get in my head for a couple auditions, but for the most part, it's just so much easier to think that way.
Yeah.
And it's again, easier said than done. I like to give out my words of wisdom that I've heard from other people. I go, that is so inspiring. Give me a couple
I'll
months.
never take it. Yeah, no, I do the same thing. I'll hear myself talk to people and I'll be like, yeah, Tara, why don't you give that a try?
I love what you're saying. Yes, as a director, I'm giving all the actors homework, but no, I will not be doing that homework. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, and I'm like, so there's so many things where I'm like, okay, I'm really gonna have to put myself through the ringer with this, because if I'm asking people to do stuff that I'm not even doing, what is that? But yeah, I love what you were saying about having that confidence based on a few takes. And I feel like as well, having other people to look at it is so important, because it can be so hard to judge ourselves and judge our work when we watch it back. But also having something, I'm trying to do this more so, having something that you can kind of be like, okay, I'm going to spend this one focusing on listening. And it can be really basic, but if you're like, okay, I at least got listening down, I at least feel like I was listening on that one, then that, at least for yourself, can kind of show you a trajectory. Because otherwise, I mean, everything is going to be good. You're a talented actor that has put work into your craft, so they're always going to be good. You know what I mean? Sure, there can be different choices and stuff, but that's something that I'm trying to get at, is being like, okay, what is my thing as an actor that I feel like I really need to work on in this phase, in this season? And then being like, okay, is it listening? We heard on the call the other day, privacy. So now I'm like, okay, I want to spend 3 minutes off the top just working on my privacy and then go into it,
I really, you have no idea how badly I wanted to find a comedic monologue that did not deserve to be private. Like they're throwing some kind of surprise party and the character's going, shh, I need my space. Just this weird awkward moment that doesn't warrant privacy, just to, again, only Andre and the people in that clubhouse room would appreciate it, but the comedian in me was just searching for something like that.
Yeah.
But I would have done 2. I did that once for let's just do 2 monologues this round. Dear God, Robyn, why? Why not? But yeah.
I love it.
It's, oh my gosh. I love chatting. I love chatting with actors and hearing their thoughts and all this stuff. It's just great to keep the conversations going and kind of figure out like where everyone's at, because we're not alone, right? And you get that self-tape and maybe you'll reach out to a friend to be a reader. My husband's gotten very good at acting. I honestly think he has a career in it, and it's kind of upsetting because he's but also kind of good, because then I'll just use him for projects. But
yeah.
It's sometimes quite lonely. I honestly miss the audition room, because now I'm in such a better headspace than if I were to go in person to audition room. I wouldn't look around and say, you're my competition. I'd be like, nice to see you again. Good luck. Because, well, actually, I think I was doing that near the end because I'm like, yeah, whatever. I know what I bring. I know what you bring. We'll see what they want. Good luck.
Yeah.
Because it's just that it's having that confidence, right? And when you send it out, it's so odd. And then I don't know. I oddly miss wishing people good luck. And is it, you know, that awkward, like, you got this, or saying some weird comment to them, be like, how was it, right? And then honestly, also leaving the room sometimes. And if I'm friends with someone, I'd be like, guys, that was terrible. That was the worst thing ever. Go in there and you've got this. Or just making up words like, guys, they told me to do something very inappropriate. So I hope they don't do that to you. But that's also only if I know the person, because otherwise that's weird.
Yeah. That's so sweet. But yeah, no, I think hopefully there's a lot of stuff that we're taking, like, that we took for granted, that now we're going to be like, whenever the world comes alive again, that we're going to be able to go back into and be like, this was actually a gift. And I thought it wasn't, but now I see that it is. And yeah, like it is crazy because there's so much connection I'm doing with people that I normally wouldn't have done, but it is all virtual. So it's like bittersweet. But yeah, I agree. I think having that in-person connection in audition rooms as well is just going to be like,
Well, it's so weird though, because I see, if we go back, I still see there's going to be those barricades of sorts, right? So it's kind of that modified return, and then it's still, I don't know what I would prefer. You know, that you're so close but so far. I don't. Those are the noises I would make, and then claw my way towards them. You know what's going to be really fun for me? I love wondering how tall people are, even though it says it in there.
Oh my God, I know.
And then you go and be like, or, oh, hello.
Yeah, like you could be 7 feet or 2. Like I don't know.
I'm actually 9 feet tall. So.
I believe you. You can't tell me otherwise. I have no reference.
9 feet tall. I don't think I could fit in my place. That is tall. I don't even know where they make ceilings that high.
That is tall.
Whoa. I don't know why I went with 9. Weird. No, I am not that tall. I am, although that being said, I am 5'7", so I've learned that is tall.
Ooh, yeah, you're a little bit taller than me. I'm 5'6". I like to think I'm a proud 5'6".
Oh, so, okay. I'm a former 5'6"er myself. So I was 5'6.5" for a very long time.
Okay.
And as you know, I get in my head, I'm like, oh God, I'm so tall. And I was always in the back for the school photos. I'm like, no one likes tall girls. And I'm more castable as 5'6", so I rounded down. And then I remeasure. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm 5'7" and then some. So not fully 5'8". So I'm like, okay, you know what? Fine. 5'7" it is. I'll just wear the flats if I have to. It's just because sometimes, you know, if the guy is shorter, then they can't pair you necessarily. And you go, because look, okay, I dream of being in a Hallmark movie, and I've seen when the guy is shorter than the girl, and it's very awkward, okay? That very platonic kiss at the end is very awkward. It's hilarious because the guy is usually elevated, you know, they hide it, but not really. And then, you know, it kind of looks, the dynamic is very off, but.
Well, I mean, yeah, isn't that like Tom Cruise, the whole thing that was like, got publicized was like how Tom Cruise would walk alongside Nicole Kidman in some movies and she'd walk in a ditch.
I remember hearing on Mission Impossible that he wouldn't work with anyone that was taller than him.
Oh, wow.
In terms of, I think the female lead. So I started looking at their footwear and then searching how tall they were. So that I remember reading that, but again, you know, those gossip rags. So maybe that was a lot.
Yeah, but there's so many, like one of my favorite actresses is Jennifer Lawrence, and I think she's 5'7". So.
Oh, good. Now all I have to do is learn how to shoot a bow and arrow and dance the whatever silver lining dance, and then I have to skill set and be willing to paint my body blue. What? Honestly, I don't even know what it says in the contract that you have to sign, I'm willing to be practically naked with a little covering and paint me for hours. Can you imagine if you had like a family wedding to go to and she's just this blue character? It's terrifying.
Yeah, like you're just staining every toilet seat. You're just
it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, oh man, see, Tara the shaver could come in handy, but it's a lot of, it's just a huge, because I always think of the Wicked and Elphaba and then the green face. And that to me is already a lot. But now we go, oh, full blue body. I don't know, man. But then you learn about the Marvel characters too, and then you research and you go, oh, their costumes actually aren't comfortable. That's odd. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that's always crazy to hear. Like when you see, I mean, it's a typical thing, but when you see the like non-glamorous side of the acting or whatever, or superheroes, and they're like, no, that was hell. I was being like suspended by things for so long and I'm in so much pain. And yeah, it's like, right. There's that side of it. You're not just flying around.
I remember doing Mary Poppins a while back, and who doesn't want to be Mary Poppins, right? So, I get the call back, whatever, and I'm like, one of the top 2 or 3 to be Mary Poppins. I don't get it. Okay, fine. I'm Mrs. Banks. It's fine. I love my kids. It was a very interesting role. I actually liked it more than I thought. But sidebar, there is a point to this. Mary Poppins had that harness throughout the entire show.
Ooh.
And that is, first off, vain for a couple of reasons, because it adds weight and you're going, but I got in shape for this role and now I look a little chunky.
Rude.
But also so uncomfortable, it just digs in you. So I know the people that play Bert and Mary, they just had these bruises all over their body, and I go, okay, no, I'm cool. I'm just gonna do my little song. How my children run away. We're cool. I'm okay. It's so ridiculous though, because especially when you have that bruise and you have to keep putting the harness over the bruise every night.
Wow. Yeah. Yeesh.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my harness story. That's pretty cool.
It's a good harness story.
What role would you be harnessed for? That's a weird question. I think I phrased that odd.
I feel like I'm there with you. I feel like I was like, I didn't even take a beat. I'm like, maybe that's odd. Yeah. I feel like obviously a superhero would be, Wicked. I feel like I would love that. But also some sort of like, I would love to play some sort of like creature that like goes from trees and like, comes down and is like, I'd love to play some sort of weird, otherworldly, demonic or not, or fairy, but creature. What about you?
That is a really cool response. I was not expecting that. Well, the only thing I could think of with a harness are those behind the scenes when I see they have the harness strapped in and then the superhero comes in and then they get blown back.
Ooh, yeah.
Terrifying, but a fascinating thing to try out. I would be terrified. I'd probably have a heart attack because I know what's coming up, but I scare so easily. So I would be legitimately shocked every time that I'm getting pulled back that fast. So it would honestly be entertaining for the people hiring me. I'd be like, guys, Robyn's gonna fall for this again. She's gonna. But
like camera on her.
I would be so annoyed because it's like, when you're on those roller coasters, or not even the roller coasters, the drop zone where you're up and the fall is going to happen, but you don't know when. So every time you're terrified.
Yeah.
That's my hardest.
Yeah. I feel like, and I also feel like you need to be in a scary movie, because if you scare easy, I feel like that would just be a dream for the director.
I mean, it's my favorite when I know the plot and I know what I'm supposed to be, when I watching it, no thank you, because I yell at the television and I yell every time. I just yell, he's behind the door, he's under the seat. I just make stuff up because I think if I say it out loud, I won't get scared when the person gets slashed or boo, a simple child rising down. But no, it doesn't work, and I'm legitimately scared. And the music, I blame the music. It sets it up, and they lie to you, right? It has that whole, this is happening, but it's not. And here we go, crescendo, and then I give up. I go, no, it's not happening.
Yeah, man, music is everything. Like honestly, if you've ever watched a film and like you put it on mute or anything like that, there was something circulating about the Star Wars, one of those grand entrances, and they were showing them without music, and it was just like, and it was just really awkward. And then the music in, and all this huge orchestral thing. And same thing with scary movies. You'd probably be like, he's in the closet. But then the music comes on, and it's, yeah, it really ties everything together.
I'm picturing, but I can just, because they don't have the music when they're filming it, right? So imagine how bored you must be, like, okay, here's a shot. We know you're not here. Da, da, da. Okay, get this angle. Maybe the audience will think it's here. I know it's not. Okay, here we go. Here's a tour of the house. Da, da, da.
Yeah.
And he's in the cupboard.
And like, yeah. And like any club scene or whatever in movies is always like so awkward to film because there's no actual sound and you're just being like, hey, want to dance? It's just like you're just yelling at strangers and nothing's happening. And then you watch it back, it's like, but when you're there, so awkward.
It's hard too because I do remember filming a club scene and they're trying so hard to pump you up.
Yeah.
And, you know, especially when it's those last couple takes and it's, so I think I had made a choice and I was very happy. I was just that very disinterested person. Nothing can impress me. And I was on my phone the whole time. And I was so happy for that choice because my energy stayed the same. And honestly, that is when I first learned about Instagram. So I was doing a lot of posting that day. Someone explained to me that you shouldn't post 8 things at once. I'm like, oh, I just wanted to share because I'm on a shoot and I'm bored.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was, but I love that. I also, you know what I love? I love living life through movies because they make everything awesome.
Yeah.
You're like, this wasn't my prom. No, this isn't graduation. No. No, this was not college. No, that was not my wedding. That was not my wedding. No.
And as a kid, I remember feeling so lied to because I watched like so many shows and had between That's So Raven and like, I don't know, Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, I had like a pretty fun idea of what school was going to be like. It was not that.
No. But then I was talking with someone the other day, and then the animated one sometimes, this is actually one of, I don't know why I shared it with him, but I'm going to share it on Facebook too. I needed glasses as a child, and when I watched Arthur, the animated series, Arthur, and he got glasses, and they bullied him. So I thought, oh, if I admit to needing glasses, they're going to bully me and call me all the names they called Arthur. So I almost like failed out of grade 2 because I couldn't read the board. It was fine. It's grade 2. Who cares? But then when I went to the, the annual eye check and then, the optometrist tests your eyes and I couldn't read the eye chart and my mom thought I was joking. I go, no, I don't. And I started making up letters. I think I said like, number sign, who used to make up, oh, I think they're swearing at me in the eye chart. But yeah, I can't write that word there.
That's so crazy. It starts so early, like grade 2, and we're already like aware.
It's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
That's why, I appreciate some of the content that's being made for the younger generation where it's educational and not totally terrible, that there's a little bit for the adults too. I love that. You go, okay, if I don't have a kid, but if I had a kid and I had to watch this stuff, I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, totally. No, and even there's stuff that I feel like I've watched back as an adult that I'm like, that would have gone over my head as a kid. You are just throwing that in for the adults, and I appreciate that. Classic
Animaniacs. I really do. They brought it back. I was very happy with that. I love that is one of, and that's part of the voice acting goal, is to be that voice that kids try and imitate. You have those iconic lines like the Bart Simpson's "Eat My Shorts" or whatever.
Yeah.
And, that is such a dream. And that was totally ad-libbed. I'm a little obsessed with Nancy Cartwright. I watched her whole masterclass and she had taken it from her school. That was, for some reason, I can't remember how it was incorporated. Maybe that was a joke or something they said at a pep rally. And she used it as Bart Simpson. And it's so iconic.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's amazing. And do you have a masterclass subscription? Or do you
I
just get hers?
Oh, no, no. I totally took that from a family member. You know, they can, you know, when they can
Oh,
add a friend. That's
you're the
right. You gotta
friend.
say it's, I don't want to say I have a hookup, but
No,
again, my free stuff is real.
yeah, no, I just got Masterclass a little while ago and I'm obsessed. I love it. So I love that
Samuel
you're,
L. Jackson, did you watch that one?
yes. Oh
Oh,
my God. He's brilliant. I mean, we
okay.
knew
Can I,
that.
wait, if you've watched that, because I have yet to, you're the first person who said yes.
Okay.
He gave feedback to the exact same feedback every time when it came to that whole the prayer or the psalm. What was it
Yeah.
called?
Yeah, where he
And
was
no one
reading from the
listens to
Bible.
it.
Yes. Yes.
It
Oh
was
my God,
driving
that
me
was so
crazy.
touching.
Why is no one listening? Oh my God.
To the point that he did it himself because he was like, no one was getting it, no one was listening, and he literally like laid it out. And yeah, no, I agree that that was sort of infuriating to watch, but I was also like, okay, how can I learn from this to make sure that I am not the infuriating thing? Because he
But
was given
I agree.
gold. Yeah, no, I
I,
totally agree.
it's driving me crazy. But I'm
Yeah,
glad someone else was bothered by that. But when you know what happened, I bet you as the actors, they watch it back and they go,
yeah,
of course, that's
yeah,
what he was saying. And
yeah.
it's just, the nerves are so real. It's
Mm-hmm.
insane that you go, oh my
Yeah,
God, wow, I know this. I hear what he's saying. I'm taking it in, and it's just not coming out of my mouth. And it's
yeah.
just, my body just says no.
Yeah, and it's, probably like, okay, this is Samuel L. Jackson giving me a note, and they're probably just watching like, this is Samuel L. Jackson giving me a note, this is Samuel L. Jackson giving me a note, and not able to hear anything. But I so know that thing where the panic or the fear of, an ego and all that stuff is just so big that I can't hear anything else, nothing's gonna sink in. And it's really hard to break out of that place too. Even I feel like it's where I've been like seeing myself in the sunken place and I'm like, get out. And I'm just down there and I can't get back to like a conscious person being like, oh, I hear you. I'm going to absorb that note and now I'm going to utilize it in my work. I'm just like, nope, nothing. I'm saying yes and I'm nodding and I'm hearing the words that are coming out of your mouth, but nothing's penetrating. And that obviously gets frustrating for both ends.
Well,
So
it's so hard too because when you get in, and that's the hardest thing too. And I think being able to incorporate feedback is such a skill. And to a
yeah.
point, okay, you're getting this feedback, and you're not a bad actor, you're not a bad person. You just
Hmm.
have to do it differently. And it's
Yeah.
instead of telling yourself, "Oh my God, why are you messing up?" It's okay. Let's do this differently, and let's figure it out. And
Hmm.
that is such a grown-up way to process, and that I say it because that's what people, it's a better way to then go, oh my God, of course that's what you're saying. Duh, Robyn.
Yeah,
Shocker, I didn't incorporate it again because I'm so mad at myself for not knowing it the first time. Ugh.
totally. Yeah, no, and it's such a real thing. And being like we were talking about directing a little bit beforehand, and being on the other side of things now, where I'm, trying to guide actors and was casting it and all that stuff. And I'm seeing how much like everyone brought so much to the table. Like I would have, I was talking to my friend, I'm like, casting is the worst because I literally could see how everyone could be in it. You know what I mean? Like everyone brings something so unique and so special and has so much potential and depth. And there, every time like I gave a direction or I gave a note, it really was just like, how can we tap in further? So to see that on the other side and be like, hearing notes as like something wrong is just it just yeah, we need to cut that
Mhm.
that attachment to it because no, it's just so much about someone like it's such a blessing to get a note because that means someone is like, hey, I see everything you're bringing and like bring this or tweak this or whatever, and then you're able to kind of go down and be like, oh my God, I do have that, or I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
But again, we say hopefully we do.
Can I ask a quick question? Is your
Mhm.
computer dying?
It's not, so is it because it got darker?
No, I asked that because the connection was a little fuzzy, and that's
Oh,
unlike
okay.
Burnt on one of my Facebook Lives, and this was hilarious. Her connection was dying, And so when I watched it back, it was just me talking to no face.
Oh no.
It was, again, hilarious, lesson learned. So I just want to make sure your battery is okay, and that it's just dramatic lighting decrease, and that you're, you know, saving electricity versus using lights and schwitzing. So cool.
There we go. Well, we had, because we had some daylight swindling, but I also have nighttime set on my laptop, so then it was like getting.
No, I only say, well, you know, it would have been good if it worked on the first try. So I blame Facebook. I really do.
Me and you both.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. I'm like, okay, no, because I love everything you're saying, and I want to make sure that I'm not just talking to no face, because I only learned that at the end. And I go, wait, I saw your face the whole time. I don't get it. So
that must have been a little trigger.
Well, okay, here's what also was really funny with that previous live I did. We were discussing ASL, American Sign Language, and we were signing to each other. Again, I like to learn things on YouTube. So I'm literally signing to no one. It was awesome.
Oh my God.
It was, honestly, there's comedy in that. It was great. Unexpected comedy comes from these lives. It's magic. It's part of why I love them. It's, who knows what's going to come up? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I didn't even realize what the time was as we're still talking. I very much have enjoyed chatting with you. I want to make sure that we plugged everything that you're doing. I will include links accordingly to, actually, is there a, I don't know, no, there's no link to your show. You're just doing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that can come later, and I'll definitely probably be like, here's the link. And I would love that. I can send you a link.
Who are you? I'm done with you. You came on my live once. I don't need to talk to you.
You filled your spot. We're good now.
We are done. You know what? Honestly, you are a delight. I always get nervous, and yet I also like to challenge myself to reach out to people that I've never actually had this long of a conversation with.
Yeah.
And I clearly have enjoyed. I'm like, wait, how long have we been talking for? Again, because there's the time on my laptop, I go, oh God.
It's tomorrow.
It is Sunday. Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, well, back at you. You are so delightful, so lovely.
We're gonna do a scene. We're gonna do a scene.
Yeah.
I'll bring the comedy, you bring the drama.
Amazing.
I haven't written it yet or decided what it is, but we will do something.
We're doing it.
This is, oh my gosh, I have to find something. Oh, okay. I like to create more projects and never finish them, but this is going on my list of projects to complete. So
got on it. Amazing.
This is amazing. Oh my God, your face is gonna look so ominous slowly. Like, this is the most dramatic.
Consumes her. Like,
where is Tara? I see her eye.
It's been a journey.
You get to see the sunset. You know what? It's real life. It's real life. This is acting, right? This is real life. This is no strings.
You get much more live than this.
Okay. I struggle at ending these because, again, I very much enjoy chatting. But we should probably go. I should have dinner. I don't know what I'm going to have, but I should have it. That is always how I like to end a live, discussing what I'm having for dinner. It's a new one for me. What you want to have for dinner? Comment in the chat.
Subscribe to find out.
Oh my God. Click like. Oh God, cool. But Tara, you were awesome. Thank you so much for doing this and for helping me figure out how to do this.
We did it.
We did. I was gonna high five. Got weird. Ooh, high five virtual. Oh wait, that's too many germs. Fist pump. Yeah. Oh, the rings. Ow, the rings. Method acting. Okay.
Amazing. All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I hope you have a lovely dinner and a lovely night. And I can't wait to see your monologue.
Oh, yeah, I have to do that too. Okay. I can't wait to see yours.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.